I'm not the I told you so kind of guy. That's never been my thing. But if you watch the PorterWay Podcast, especially weeks leading up to this fight, and even I think the week before or 2 weeks before this fight, I said to myself, I said, I've been so heavy on how Crawford's going to do this thing and pull it off and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to the podcast this week purposely to talk about how Canelo can make it happen, and if he does make it happen, because I wanted people to do what I always do, which is I've always tried to play this thing right down the middle, not show a favoritism or anything like that. But I even had somebody yesterday, I think it was at the expo, who you really got? You've been flipping sides. Da, da, da. I said, have you been watching the podcast? What happened last night that I didn't narrate? Can I please? I'm not that I told you so guy, but what happened last night that I didn't narrate, that I didn't say was a possibility for both these guys? We even had a moment where Canelo, I think it was the 6th round or the 5th round, might have been the 5th round, where he started doing his thing. And I said, but can he maintain that?
For 6 rounds.
Let my guys talk.
I thought you were talking to me.
No, go ahead.
4 6 rounds, Canelo fought the fight he came to beat Crawford with. He had something to prove really to himself and to those in the pundit class who were saying, well, if it goes the distance, Crawford's going to win. He's going to outbox Canelo. It's all about power. It's all about power. It's all about power. And I think Canelo took that as an insult. I can box. I can cut the ring off. And especially with what happened in Times Square, he wanted to prove that.
Right.
So he came in shape, lighter on his feet than we've seen him in years and years and years. Mm-hmm. But what we also know is on cue, 7th round, Canelo shifts down. Mm-hmm. Now he's going to walk you down, beat you up, chop the tree, knock you over, and go home with the TKO or TKO victory.
Right.
After the 6th round, which I had 3-3.
Oh.
I had it 3-3 going into 7. Even.
Man.
The crowd,
what y'all had it?
The crowd is aghast.
What y'all had it? I had 4-2.
There was somebody at Antt's
even.
house that had a round to Crawford, and there wasn't even enough rounds in the fight yet. He was like, I got it 6-0. We're like, sir, it's the end of the 5th.
Right. No, but Canelo never run another round after the 6th. But he split the first 6 to me. And I saw him having a problem with everything he was trying to execute. Because it wasn't like he didn't hit Crawford. You guys weren't giving him the rounds because you were expecting him to do better. And Crawford was doing well. The rounds, he wasn't shutting Crawford out, but he was edging 3 of the 6, and Crawford edged 3 of the 6, maybe with a little bit more margin. But what was happening is Canelo's a counterpuncher.
Yeah.
And he was being out-counterpunched by Crawford.
Yep.
He was getting hit, not with shots he didn't see coming.
I talked about that on your show. Did I talk about them both being excellent counterpunchers?
Yes, but that's Canelo's thing.
Yeah.
And he was not getting hit with shots he didn't see coming. He was getting hit with shots he wasn't expecting to get hit with. How did that get here so fast? How did that angle hit the mark?
Can I?
Please.
Well, do you mind?
Let's go.
I said shout out to Club Shay. I'll talk to Shannon Sharp and shout out to Ocho Cinco. I told them one thing we should not talk about is who has better IQ. Respect to Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, there's no IQ over there. When have you seen Canelo Alvarez come to the ring and delete some of what he does and implement some things that you don't see him do to get the job done? When have you seen him adjust and become more or less to get the job done? You don't see adjustments coming from the Canelo corner because they don't make adjustments. They train him and get him ready for him, and he's this machine that you can't beat. But when you start beating this machine, there's no adjustment. There's no second plan. There's no let me start to move left, move right. You got 2 beautiful counterpunchers in the ring. That was, to me, was the best part of this fight, or could have been the best part of this fight, is that you got 2 great counterpunchers that just find that space, that moment, that opportunity. And because you got one guy that's a little bit faster and a little bit smarter, or a lot of bit smarter, he's going to get there every single time. And for the majority of the fight, that's how it was. I had it 4-2, by the way, after 6.
The best part of the fight to me, and maybe this is because I'm a talker and not a fighter, was the mental contest. I've never seen anybody break Canelo down. In the 11th round, Crawford broke Canelo.
That's true. That's true.
Canelo didn't quit, but he gave up.
Body language.
He decided that I'm going to survive this, and I am not any longer believing that I can win this. Even when he made his last-ditch effort, I believe, at the beginning of the 11th, and then it's not like he was hurt, it's that his spirit was broken. You saw him drop his hands and shake his head. Like, I was worried we were about to get a no mas moment.
No.
Listen, if this was a 15-round fight like Sugar Ray and Duran.
Yeah.
If this was a 15-round fight like Sugar Ray and Duran, Canelo couldn't put up with that for another 3 rounds after 12. The disrespect, the amount of frustration he was feeling, and I was watching it grow. I don't like showboating, like, at all. But I don't mean to stop you from speaking, but Crawford was mentally breaking Canelo down by his little bit of teasing, his licking his tongue out and shaking it off and doing whatever he wanted to do. Usually Canelo punishes you for that. He makes you pay for that. And the fact that he couldn't get to him made him like a frustrated child. He just couldn't handle it.
I got 2 things. Number 1, you guys good? Can I go?
Yeah, cook.
I got 2 things. Number 1, this was something that Crawford and I hadn't talked about, but I knew it had to be done. And when I saw it happening, I'm like, that's my guy. I knew he had to talk to Canelo. It wasn't about talking to Canelo and showboating. It was, and if you guys pay attention, when he got caught with something that was good, he was honest. He was like, I need to talk to you. I need to be in your head this entire fight. With this one, it's more than just the eyes. It's more than just the body language. I need to literally talk you and narrate you through this fight. That's what he did. That was not about showboating. That was about keeping Canelo as honest as possible in this fight to what was happening and what was going to happen. Masterful. The thing that he didn't do that we talked about, and I was like, man, I really want to tell y'all this one, but I can't. I actually thought that Bud was going to stop Canelo in this fight. We talked about this, and this is something that has been notorious since we were amateurs, and I mean young amateurs, 13, 14, young amateurs. When you fight a Mexican fighter, you can't knock him out to the head. If you want to stop a Mexican fighter, you got to go to the body. Now, the secret's out now, so I'll go ahead and say it.
That was the game plan he told us.
The secret's out, so now I can go ahead and say it. Triple G fought Canelo 3 times, and everybody says that Canelo has this masterful chin, which he does. But the one thing Triple G never did in that fight was go to the body to break Canelo down. You break him down to the body, and now all of a sudden that chin is a little more susceptible than it is if you allow a guy to be strong up top and sturdy, which Canelo truly is. And so I talked with Bud. I said, we're going to do something about the body, right? He said, oh, absolutely. And I'm watching the fight, and I'm like, where the stabs at? Where the body work at? Where is that at? I think if he had gone to the body, I think that 11th round, that 12th round would have looked a little different.
I don't want to, take over the whole show.
Listen. Keep cooking.
Listen.
I don't even do the show.
Why did you show up, Terry?
In the corner, and of course
Where's
I'm in
tail?
the arena. What's that?
Where's the tail?
He is on his way. Listen,
at
this
somebody's
guy,
trunk right now.
let me tell you what,
He's a
Sean
black
Zittel
dude.
is a
He's a black
superstar.
dude at the show.
No. It's his week. That's why he is
it is.
making a fashionably and appropriate entrance to be the anchor to this show because Sean is the biggest superstar
With a black
of
tee
press
on.
week.
With a black tee on.
Whatever he wants to wear. He ought to be wearing a crown because really he was king of media this week. He did something for you and for all of us in the profession.
True.
So, we should open the show and let the headliner pull up later. That's what Sean is doing.
He might drop in like Sting from the rafters.
What's happening in the corner of of Crawford, is that they had so many tools that would work that Crawford wanted to try other SHIT. He was like, well, let me switch now. Let me go back, to orthodox. No, this is working.
Yeah.
Let me go to the body. Let me try. Let me do the other things. This is working.
That was the conversation in the corner. You think that just was, it was understood, it's working.
No.
We're not going to.
I was told because I have people who watch the fight so I can hear things that I can't hear in the arena. And yes, they were telling me that Crawford was asking his corner, well, now we're about to switch to this shit, right? This is the next. They were like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. The most frustrating thing I think for Crawford was he couldn't get off everything he wanted to do because what he was doing was working so well. That's domination.
You know what I like? When they were locked up in clinches, Crawford proved he's a stronger fighter. I never seen somebody turn Canelo and put him on the ropes. It was just dominant.
That's like when he picked up little guy over
Yeah,
there.
he almost threw Shawn in the audience.
Yeah.
And they fight.
Oh, man.
The one thing I'll mention about it kind of goes to what Rahim was saying. With Bud, when people were talking about, the week up to the fight, I said above his obvious talent, his physical gifts, his boxing IQ, he is a crazy enough dude that he's just not going to win. Yeah. There was just no way that he was going up, he's taking this challenge. And they're like, oh, he's going up so much. He didn't look great at 154. I was like, he's a crazy enough dude. He's just not going to lose. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy like a fox. He had this plan for, I say, at least 2.5 years. You see A Beautiful Mind where homeboy had everything written out on the that kind of crazy.
Yes.
He's a scientist.
He is that kind of
and he
crazy.
broke Canelo down.
Yeah.
Hey, Radio, in the 11th and 12th round, I wanted Canelo to go out like Morales, Chavez, the great Mexicans that would just go for it. I felt like he downshifted and cruised.
Well, he downshifted in 7 because his legs weren't going to allow him to do that for any longer. He didn't it's not like he gassed. It's like his legs were done with that part of the job. They got tight, and it's where he's comfortable shifting gears. I was impressed with the first 6. I know people don't have it. Some people don't have it the way I do, but ultimately it ended up being 9-3. It was still a dominating performance. But what Crawford did to him in the first 6 rounds wasn't a shutout on the cards. It was a breakdown of the mind that Canelo expected to be in a different place in the fight going into 7 than where he was. And what he said at the post-fight was, my body just wouldn't do anything more. It wasn't like he didn't have the heart of Morales or he wasn't going to be a Mexican traditional fighter, but he can't do that anymore. And to Sean's point, he's never had to make these adjustments, make these changes, have a different plan going into the 11th round than he started with in the gym. He's been doing Canelo, and that's been enough. He's just been sharpening his tools, not adding them to his repertoire.
Carson, you got to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking, it's a very deep cut reference, but I'm thinking of Traffic School Days on the Jamie Foxx show. After he does the push-ups, I can't go nowhere else. I can't go nowhere else. Canelo just didn't have enough juice. He just couldn't do it.